First, the war of words between the U.S. and Iran is heating up. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo issued a stern warning on Twitter saying, "The Islamic Republic of Iran has engaged in an escalating series of threatening actions and statements in recent weeks. Any attacks by them or their proxies against U.S. citizens or our interests will be answered with a swift and decisive response." Earlier, the White House decided to deploy an aircraft carrier strike group and a bomber task force to the Persian Gulf to counter Iran. The announcement came just days before the anniversary of President Donald Trump's decision to withdraw America from the Iran nuclear deal. One U.S. official told the Associated Press that Iran could be targeting American troops at land and sea. Pompeo says Iran has threatened many things over the last 2 years.
We have continued to see activity that leads us to believe that there's escalation that may be taking place. And so we're taking all the appropriate actions, both from a security perspective and well as our ability to make sure that the president has a wide range of options in the event that something should actually take place.
Later, Iranian President Hassan Rouhani said Iran would no longer keep limits on its enriched uranium and heavy water production as a result of U.S. sanctions. In response, Washington clamped even tighter sanctions on Iran. Joining me now is Middle East Bureau Chief Chris Mitchell, who's in Iraqi Kurdistan, where he spoke with retired U.S. Lieutenant General Jerry Boykin. Chris, the scenery looks beautiful, but tell us about where you are and why you're there.
I'm here on the Kurdish-Iranian border. The White-Capped Mountain behind me is Iran, just a few miles away. And we're here with the White House Faith Advisory Board on a fact-finding mission to the Kurdish area. We'll talk more about that next week. One of the main things, as they're hearing from Kurdish leaders like the Prime Minister, the Interior Minister, and many other local leaders, is two dangers they face. First of all, they don't want the U.S. to abandon them and leave the area, and also the threat of Iran. We talked about the threat of Iran with retired General Jerry Boykin and the latest intelligence and why the United States has sent a carrier group to the Persian Gulf. General Boykin, we just had intelligence about the U.S. putting a carrier task force against Iran right now. What's the latest that you know?
Well, first of all, what a great idea. Secondly, the Iranians are reacting to Trump's declaration that the IRGC is a terrorist organization. They have targeted American forces here. They want to carry out some kind of spectacular attack that will kill Americans in retaliation for that declaration.
Right. We're just a few miles from the Iranian border here in Kurdistan. What threat does Iran pose into the general Middle East, Israel, and even the U.S.?
Well, certainly in Israel, they're a huge threat to Israel, not only because of their growing nuclear capabilities, but because they created and continue to support Hezbollah. Secondly, they're a regional threat because they're supporting Bashar al-Assad in Syria, and they are also funding Hezbollah down in South Lebanon, so they're a regional threat as well.
Yeah. Final question. What changes do you see from President Obama for 8 years and now in the last over 2 years with President Trump, and how should he proceed from here?
Do you think that President Obama would have ever put Abraham Lincoln off the coast of Iran? I don't think so. I think that would never have happened. I see our president today as being a man of courage and a man that understands the American military power, but is willing to use it if necessary.
Right. General Boykin, appreciate your expertise.
Thank you very much. Good to be with you.